Alright everyone, before anyone starts panicking again, no, One Punch Man Season 3 is not going to be another quote-unquote PowerPoint show. It's not going to be another one frame man, one PNG man. Yes, I've seen the comments, I've seen people saying like, oh my goodness, this season is going to be shit, still frames here and there. Oh my goodness. And with a recent tweet by Kenichiro Aoki, people actually look at it and goes, wait, does this actually confirms it? Because at first glance, again, it sounds like that's exactly what's happening. But if you actually break it down, if you actually read the entirety properly, or if you actually have a proper reading comprehension, I would say the tweet is much more technical and it makes sense. So yes everyone, today we're going to be going through his tweet and what he actually meant. Yes, somehow I am going to be milking one tweet from Kenichiro Aoki into an 8, 9, 10 minutes video. How is that even possible? Guys, I am one milkman. I'm able to turn one sentence into a full-on video. So I'm not sure how you guys are still underestimating the milking power of... Okay, so without further ado, don't forget to subscribe and like, and let's get straight into the tweet itself. Alright everyone, so here's what Aoki tweeted in Japanese. So for the sake of 8, 9, 10 minutes length of the video, I'm going to be trying to read it in Japanese. So here's a hard watch. Skip to this particular part of the video if you guys do not want me to entirely butcher the actual Japanese pronunciation. So here goes nothing. キャラクターの動き自体は画面の中で大きく動かないが、それに合わせて髪や服、マントなどなびき物をしっかりなびかせるには動画にやってもらうには難しいので原画で描かなきゃいけないのが結構大変。前に中割り参考でなびき描いて他合わせてをやったことあるがうまくいかなかった。Alright, that sounds rough as hell. I need to work on my Japanese pronunciation, but here's the translation. The characters themselves don't move much on screen, but making their hair, clothes, capes, and other flowing elements sway realistically is tricky and to achieve with animation alone. It has to be done with hand-drawn keyframes, which is pretty tough. I tried drawing the flowing parts as in-between reference before, and matching the rest, it didn't work out well. So on paper, I would like to say that it looks like Aoki is saying, okay, minimal movement, hand-drawn, hard to animate. But if we actually can comprehend something that simple, he's actually describing keyframe level of detailing. TLDR, from what I can understand from this tweet alone, it means that cape or fabric movement in between alone is not able to bring it to life. Or in other words, it won't produce a really good final product. Instead, you need to draw an actual keyframe to achieve that level of animation or the expected animation quality or how fluid it will look in the actual final product. So again, the message that Aoki is trying to convey is that in order to make something move naturally in sync, it is pretty hard to do it through in-between frame, and it has to be drawn in keyframes, which is pretty challenging. There's also another way to interpret this particular tweet, and that is Aoki might be describing a pose-to-pose workflow, meaning he first maps out the main pose by using the keyframes or genga of a scene, then connects them with in-between drawings, which is the doga, to make the motion flow naturally. But as what Aoki said, the tricky part is that when there's not much movement, like a character standing still but with wind blowing through their hair or cape, connecting those poses might becomes harder. And he even said that he tried adding those flowing elements as in-betweens or doga to test how they match the key poses, and it didn't work out well. Basically, this tweet is saying that he couldn't connect the dots between poses smoothly because the movement was too subtle. And that is exactly why he said in this particular tweet that it is hard to do that with in-between references before, and it didn't go well for him. So it has to be drawn in the keyframes itself rather than having an in-betweener doing that for you. But to be honest, he didn't even mention One Punch Man in this tweet, which is pretty funny. But looking at it, it honestly seems like a general animation take, the kind of thing most animators would say. But since it's Kenichiro Aoki, somehow every tweet of his ends up being connected to One Punch Man. So, but again, it doesn't mean it is entirely unrelated to the anime whatsoever, so there's that. So that's the whole point of the tweet itself. But somehow, people on this app that are also part of the One Punch Man fandom has a pretty low or below the average level of comprehension and go for a comments that are pretty dumb, I would say. So here are some of them that I find really strange and really questionable, because it's not that hard to actually stop and read it for like a few minutes and actually process it, but somehow they just drop a comment like this. We got a comment from Robin saying, in short, One Punch Man having PowerPoint animation and no one can stop this. What the fuck? Hey, Mohammed Hesham is back for another hate tweet. So here we have Lemao, 2 days until we see what he's exactly talking about. This guy thought he's going for the gotcha, look at this, even Aoki is saying that it's going to be still frame error. No, again, reading comprehension 0%. This guy says, yeah, it's over. I mean, like the fact that he has been doom posting about One Punch Man for like forever and his name literally got JC stuff is garbage. Well, you could say that he kind of dedicates his whole life hating on a building. So that is pretty funny. Like, how can you do that? It's insane. Also, please remove the name Eren Yeager out of your name, because he won't do this. And this Eren is able to think, unlike some certain person hating on a building, am I right? Okay, so just to make it clear, I'm not here trying to justify the way One Punch Man is being handled right now. I completely agree. One Punch Man as an IP deserves way better conditions than what it's getting right now, especially considering how big of a series it is and how much love it's gotten from fans all over the world. It shouldn't even feel like it's struggling behind the scene. But at the same time, I also don't want to pile on more pressure to the people who are already doing their best behind the scenes. Because as you guys know, while we're all online talking about animation quality or production issues, there are actual people staying up late, skipping meals, trying to make this fictional bald man look alive for us to enjoy. And I would say that's kind of what bugs me. The whole internet's full of people just throwing hate or making rage bait videos for clicks. That's not criticism anymore, that's just being immature. Constructive criticism? Yes, that's completely fine. That's how things improve and evolve into something better in the future. But when it comes to haha this sucks or oh my goodness still frames for views, that's when it crosses the line. But at the end of the day, yes, One Punch Man deserves better, and so do the people that are animating it. They're not the ones making the big production decisions, but they're just the one that taking the hits when things go wrong. So honestly, maybe just show a bit of appreciation, as they're out here trying to make something work under all that pressure. And I would say that deserves at least some respect, in which why I'm making tons of animator spotlight video that are heavily inspired by the Canepa effects, and I'm trying to enlighten more people on these few underrated animators that are trying their best to work on a show that tons of people are literally using for views. I mean, like I am, but you guys understand that. But anyways, those are basically it. It's almost 8 minutes mark, I think, or 9, I'm not sure. But yes, everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. Those are basically it. I hope this video as a whole is pretty informative for you guys. Just a few days left before the actual One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 1. And yes, everyone, before the video ends, I would like to announce that I will be streaming my reaction on Twitch. Yes, I'll be reacting to the actual One Punch Man Season 3. Yes, every episode weekly. And yes, there will be face cam as well, so please do check out Twitch TV/EasyCourt. I'll be leaving the Twitch link in the description of today's video. So yes, go and check it out, go and follow before I actually go live on maybe one day after the release of the episode. And yes, the reaction will still get uploaded on this channel as well, but then it will be some cut one and the actual screen itself will be censored, that will be pasted on the screen just to avoid the copyright and all that. So yes, everyone, those are basically it. If you guys want to check out the full reaction to it soon, I'll be live on Twitch under the link Twitch TV/EasyCourt. And yes, everyone, those are basically it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next One Punch Man video. Goodbye.